Hey guys, welcome to Mom Minutes. Today we're going to talk about how to spend intentional time when you have so many kids. How do you spend individual time with each of them? So I will say when we had our first four kids, it was we were on a pretty good schedule. We would take them out for special dates, daddy daughter dances, and sporting events and that sort of thing. That was pretty fun, pretty easy, pretty doable. We also had like the night routine where we would pray with them, read them stories, sing songs, that sort of thing. So that was pretty easy. Then we added a fifth child through adoption, and that was still okay. We were able to handle that. Well, then we added three more kids at one time. So we went from a family of 5 to a family of 8. And that just got pretty crazy. So we still did the bedtime thing, of course, but any sense of, hey, let's have a schedule where we take each kid out on a date and do something just was not possible, and it just wasn't feasible for to be able to do that. So what we did do was we kind of used our night routine to do that. So like the younger kids would go to bed at 8 o'clock, and we would have of course the story time, the singing, the prayer with them. And then we had an hour where the next group of kids, like the middle kids, would be up and they would go to bed at 9 o'clock. So we'd have that hour with them where we could talk to them and just have some fun with them, just with them. That was their time. And then they would go to bed, and then our older kids that were working, they would come home, and that's when the fun really began, because we would get out the food and ice cream and just sit and talk and laugh. And those are really, really good memories that we have of that time in their life, and really treasure those. And so we've been able to do that as each set of kids have, grown up and have been in that life stage where they've had a job and then they've come home, and we get to catch up and talk with them. So that's always been something for everybody to look forward to, when they got to be in that stage where they got basically the good stuff with mom and dad. So that those times are really fun. Now we just have 4 kids at home. They're teenagers, so ages 13, 14, and 2 15-year-olds. So they all go to bed at the same time, and so we don't really have that night ritual anymore. None of them work yet and that sort of thing. But what we really try to do is we'll get season tickets to the to Tuts here in Houston, which is where they do musicals and stuff like that. We really enjoy going to musicals together. So we'll get tickets, and we'll take 2 kids at a time and take them out to a really nice dinner, that sort of thing. Concerts, stuff like that. Where the individual time really comes in is when just everyday life. Everyday life where, like today, I took Joseph to a therapy program, and then I thought, what, we haven't really been together for very much, in the past couple weeks. He's getting ready to go on a mission trip here on Saturday. So we stopped and got, a sandwich at Chick-fil-A, sat in the parking lot and just ate and talked, and so that was really fun. And then brought him home, and then I took the next kid to a consult at a oral surgeon. And so, after that, we stopped at a store, and I said, hey, you want a snack or something like that. So just trying to make the most of everyday experiences. If I need to go to Sam's Club, well, they all love doing that. So, I take one kid with me sometimes, and then they know they always get a soda at the end of the thing. So just trying to be intentional about that time, talking about things that we've talked about before, making the most of that. So the other way that we spend individual time with the kids revolves around their sporting schedules. So all of our kids play sports, and they're year-round sports pretty much. So we're always taking a kid, I'm taking a kid to one game, and Phil's taking a kid to another game, and we don't make them all go to each other's games anymore. We used to do that. We don't really do that anymore. One reason is because we really enjoy spending just that time with them, with that kid. So it's easier to take one kid to a sporting event and let them have a snack at the snack bar, and then we get to go out afterwards and eat with their team and that sort of thing. So it's much easier to do that than to have all of our kids go with us, and then it kind of limits what we can do. So we really try to make the most of sporting events. And sometimes they'll have like a tournament out of town that requires like a hotel stay, and that is a big deal for us. So like we make it a girls weekend or a guys weekend, and we get snacks, and we order a movie in the room, and we go do stuff and eat out every night. And so those are really good times, and we have a lot of good memories as our kids have gone through that stage. We have a lot of good memories of doing that with the kids. So yeah, our intentional time now is basically, I guess you would say, mostly in the car and at restaurants, because that's what makes it special, is just to have that one-on-one time with them, to talk in the car. I feel like my kids talk a lot easier in the car. Maybe it's because we're side to side and not so much face to face. It kind of breaks down some of the barriers to talking about things, I find. And so we really try to ask questions about stuff that we've talked about before, and just kind of catch up that way and see how things are going with them, and just be as intentional as we possibly can with each one. So there's really no schedule that we follow. It's just making the most of everyday experiences, and everyday like doctor's appointments and grocery shopping, and making the most of those, and then also really trying to make a big deal out of going to sporting events with them and watching them, and getting them all the frozen treats that they want and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's kind of how we do it. And we enjoy it, and they seem to enjoy it too. So I hope that I know a lot of other people are much more scheduled, but if you're not, maybe that gives you some relief to know that you can make everyday experiences really intentional with your kids. Okay, have a good night.